Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. My name is Jane Allmark and today we are looking at indigo blue things. I absolutely love indigo blue, and they very kindly turned round and given me a 20% off code. As you probably don't know, one of my subscribers won a competition. She bought some the magazine that I was showing a little while ago, and she won their competition, and she very generously turned around and said that she'd seen indigo blue in my videos. So they have come to me and said that I can give a code, which is Jane, which is my name, so a small j, ANE 20, and you'll get 20% off of any indigo blue products. So today we are looking at the beautiful stencil, which is really summery, lovely flowers. I just absolutely adore it. And we're looking at this absolutely sweet little one called, it's the collector's edition, number 62, Bear Hug. And I just think it is just so adorable. And the code for it is IND 1157. So if you go onto their website, you can, as I say, buy any of their products on there, anything, and just put on when you get to the checkout the code Jane20 and you'll get 20% off. So onto this, we are using, as I say, this lovely little bear hug, and I thought I would do a summary card. This is perfect for, and it's part of their Christmas collection, but I thought that it would work beautifully for a lovely summary card using these stencils. So I'm going to take the black card off because you don't really want to see the black card on there. It was just easier to actually see the stencil without having anything on the back. And I'm using a square card, so this card is, what is it, 15 centimeters squared, or it is just under 6 inches. And then the mat inside is just under 13, so it's about an inch on there. Now what I'm going to do to start off with is I'm going to do some stenciling on the back of here, and then I'm going to do some stenciling on there as well. But I really like the flowers and I thought it would make quite a nice background. Now what colours am I going to choose? I'm going to choose some, I want summery, so I want yellows and I want greens. So I'm just going to have a little look and see in yellows. Sorry, I'm standing up. So yellows, and let's take some greens. So some nice sort of bright summery greens I think will work quite well. Oh, I've just squiggled my light. So yes, probably those ones I think will work quite nicely. But use whatever inks you've got. I'm obviously using what I've got. You know, I'm very much, as I've turned around and said to you on numerous occasions, I like to try and use products that I've already got in my stash. Yes, I like to buy a few new things and some new stamps and stuff, but with regards to inks and things like that, I am going to use what I've got. Now I have bought some Luscious, but I'm not using those yet because I'm waiting for something else to arrive. So let's start doing, we want the back of this to be in greens and yellows. So I'm going to start with the green because I want it sort of nice and summery and floral, but I want the background to be pretty as well. So I'm literally just going to do a little bit of stenciling around the side. I don't want to do too much, but I just want to do a little bit, and I'm doing it all in one color at a time. So what I need to do is I need to take the yellow out as well because I want to blend it all sort of through together. So we've got green and yellow, and obviously green and yellow will form different types of green as well. So I can, let me get a yellow one out. I can just take this, and it only needs to be sort of around the edge because it's an inch border, so I'm just sort of doing it so that it comes out just sort of prettily between the combination of the two, and it will give a background without having to you know, matte and layer, and I think it will look quite pretty. So as I say, I am sort of blending it through because I want it to be quite sort of nice and blended. So I'm just swapping back between one sponge dauber and the other because I find sponge daubers are the easiest for me to work with. So nearly put that in the wrong one. So I'm literally just mixing it up. Now I need to move this across, so I need to put it across from this side like that, and I don't want it to be going across too much on the other side. So I think if I put it that way, I should be all right to hold it. No, I'm going to do it this way. So let's turn it round so that I'm not cack-handed. I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to hold with this side and then do the other. So let's just take some yellow up in the corner and some green. Bring some green down on here and some yellow. I always think greens and yellows are really sort of summery. Now I've just thought, have I just dabbed that in? No, I don't think I did. I just suddenly thought I might have put it in the wrong. You know, when you're trying to do two and you're doing it quite quickly. And what I didn't want is to have it to come. Okay. So you can see how beautiful does that look. That gives a really lovely sort of florally type background, so that when we put this on top, we've got these lovely colours coming through as the background on there. Now, I do want to do the same over the top, but I'm not going to have it, I could have it so it ran in together, but I want it to be more sort of abstract than that. So I'm going to do this after I've done the bear. But that's, so I'm just going to put my, and I've only used two colours because I think the two colours work quite nicely. So we can put this one to one side for the moment and we can work on this one. And I've got the, well, what I should have done is stamped it first so it had a chance to dry, but I think we'll be all right. So I'm literally just inking up the bear. Now this is a beautiful red rubber stamp, and I'm just making sure that I'm inking it straight, because if you don't, you can get it just over on the edge. But it's just a tap tap, and I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black. It's my favorite because it's very fine and it gives a beautiful fine image. So I'm going to put it right down in the center, or as near to the center as I can. Just give it a press and you'll be able to see the quality of these stamps is just beautiful. Red rubber is just so lovely. I mean, look at that, look at the outline on that. It's just lovely, and it's got that lovely nice sort of gentle look to it. You know, it's not got hard lines, it's got really nice sort of soft lines. So let's move these out of the way just for a minute. We're going to get back to those later, but I'm just moving them so they're not in my way. And then we're going to do some colouring on these. So again, I want it to be warm and summery, but I want the bears to be like bears. So I'm going to actually watercolour them. Something that I don't do very much of, but I do like watercolouring. So I have got, I'm just looking to see, I've just got my watercolour pencils. Excuse me just 2 seconds because I had them out a minute ago. Here we go. They're across the other side of my desk. Bear with me a second. Right, I never have everything ready all at the same time, but I have got these. These are aqua blends from Spectrum Noir. I don't even know if they do them anymore, but for watercolors they are absolutely lovely. And I'm using these ones because they've got some beautiful like warm tones in there, so they will work beautifully as my bear. And now I'm going to need a bit of space, aren't I? Hold on 2 seconds. Let's just put that there. I'm working on my little desk today because the light has not been particularly good. It's either been very bright or not bright enough. So what I wanted to do was to make sure that I had enough space that I can literally just put the things that I want in here. Okay, so I'm getting those out so I can just get the colours that I want. And I want the bear to be, the baby bear is going to be paler than the mummy bear. So the baby bear is going to be some warm browns. So I'm going to do a pale brown and a, what have we got on here? This one, I think. So I'm going to start with this one, which is charcoal brown. And I'm literally just colouring in the little bear. And because I'm doing it in the watercolours pencils, I don't have to be overly precise. But it's just another medium to use, so just colouring in the little bear. And I'm doing him fairly realistically because I quite like bears to look like bears. I mean, you can do them in whatever colour you want, but I just wanted to have him look like a little bear. So do this one, and I'm going to do, this is a paler one, so this one is called Tobacco. And I'm just, it's quite nice if you blend a few colours in together, because then you can start building up the colour. And as I say, I'm no expert at this at all, but I do like, and you know, alcohol markers are just brilliant because if you use an alcohol marker, it blends really easily. But sometimes it's nice to try different mediums, and I just thought it would be quite good to try and do a little bear like this. And so let me just guess, I'm going one lighter on here, a little bit on here, it's a little bit yellowier. I'm just sort of adding some shadows in here before I take my water brush, and I can then just a little bit of darkness down on there. Okay, so that's him. Now Mummy Bear is going to be, I think, greys. I think I want Mummy Bear more sort of a grey, so I'm going to start with, oh, this is nice and pale. So pale on the head and round on the muzzle. And you can see I always try and use my pencils, unless I'm doing a really fine edge, I try and use my pencils on the side, because that's it helps for me to do it down on the side, because then it's not quite so you don't get the sharp lines. So if you do it sort of down on the side, you're just getting a little bit more colour. So I'm just building these up. I'm not giving you all the colours of these because it's it doesn't really. There's a slightly darker one. Coming in on here, and you can see I'm literally just sort of building up the colour. And if I was doing this not on camera, I would probably spend a good maybe an hour colouring. So I am sort of speeding this up to just show you. I would do one little section at a time, and then as I was building it up, so I would literally just work on one little section, and then I would watercolour it, leave it to dry a little bit, and then come back in again and add some more colour, so you can build it up as much as you want. Now we want to have this round on here. It's going to be a bit darker. I just want to start building that up a little bit for the shadow. So yeah, so I'm doing this quite quickly, but I would build it up and build it up and get it darker and darker. So this is like the next one in, which is coming out. Now when I'm going to use the watercolor brush, it is going to pale it out quite a bit, but that's fine because it should just give the right sort of colour that we want. So let me just grab my water brush. You can use a paintbrush with water, but I quite like the aqua brush, any brush that has water in it, because it is and I'm going to take it because you want to take it from pale to light. So if I start at the top here, start blending these colours. Now this isn't watercolour paper, it's just ordinary cardstock, so you don't have to always have, as long as you don't saturate it, you don't have to have watercolour paper. And I'm literally just sort of doing circular movements, and I'm not adding too much water in on here. So I'm doing it quite lightly. I just want this for my darkest part. Coming through in on here. You can see in on here, so this is going to be a bit paler. So that's fine in on here. A bit of dark ground on there. And then bring that in so it's pale. Oh, I've missed a pore. But you can see how you can bring this up, and if you do it the opposite way, you're pushing the dark into the areas that you want. So when I'm doing the shadow on here, which is going to be in on this bit, if I do this bit last and push it back, it means that it comes darker there. And again on this bit, if I just bring that back down to the bottom bit on here, it means that it comes darker. Just in on this bottom bit on here. Then you can take it from here and just blend it a little better, because it looks a bit, when you're doing it upside down, it can distract you. Okay, so now we can go into the little bear, and again just bring this back on here. And it's quite nice using these any form of watercolor pencils, because you can just bring in the color quite nicely, and it just sort of gives a little bit of color on there. And as you can see, I am doing this fairly quickly. As I said, if you're doing it yourself, take your time, and you can always, as say, once it's dried, add a little bit more, and another layer and another layer, until you've got it as dark as you want and you've got enough of the shading. But for this exercise, I think it'll be fine like that. So, and if you want to take out any colour, you can always take a little bit of, so this is just a little bit of kitchen roll, you can always just take out a little bit and just lighten it if you want to just have a little bit of extra sort of highlights in places. So just here on his little face, I think I'll just lighten it up just a little bit so you can see. And you're not taking a lot, you're just lightening it up a little bit. Now, we missed a paw, didn't we? So that paw needs to be in, we'll do it a little bit darker, I think, because it's that side. So let's just do a little bit of a paw there. And then I'm just going to take that in on there. There we go, that's that bit. Okay, so now I've got the hearts to do. And because we've got this as the background, so let's have a look again, take it up. We've got that. So I need to do these in sort of red and yellow. So I'm going to again use the same aqua painters or aqua watercolor pencils. They're by Spectrum Noir. And I'm sure they still do them. So this is the primaries one, and I'm going to use a bright yellow for a couple of the hearts and a bright green for another couple of them. So just take one yellow and a little yellow. And then this green is a really rather lovely, it's called Parakeet, which is a really nice vibranty green. But as I say, I've had, if you buy yourself a good set of watercolour pencils that are nice and vibrant with all the colours that you want, then they will last you for a very long time. I've had these for, oh, I don't know, 10 years maybe. Excuse me. And I don't use them all the time, but I go through phases where I use them a lot. And when I've got them out, it's one of those things you look at it and you go, oh, I really like those. So let me take, I want this stencil again, because I want some more colour to come in through here. So if I do it on this, I quite like some of that. I think I might have some of that smaller stencil in on this bit. So let's take that to there. Let me take my two brushes again and my two inks that I'm going to use. So we've got the yellow and the green, and we're just mixing them in together, because then that gives the really nice sort of look to it. So let me just put this on here. So I'm going to start with the yellow, I think, and I wanted that there, didn't I? Okay, so I'm just doing a little bit of the yellow in on here, like that. And then we'll take the green into the corner. And I do quite like, you can actually make it sort of realistic, as it were, and just have you know, floral colours in there, so you can have, you know, your pinks and your all of those sorts of things. But I just wanted it to be just a nice, that it looks nice, and for me those sorts of colours are very summery looking. I've just thought I should have moved that stencil a bit for the other side. I am going to move it. I'm just doing this little bit in on here. And you can use texture paste and make it sort of three-dimensional. I didn't really want to do it like that for this one. I just wanted it to be just sort of quite pretty on here. Whee, that slid about of it, doesn't it? Take that one to there. Like that. Some more yellow. That's nice because I've got this one again, which is the smaller one, which is what I wanted. And then I'm going to move this and put this. Oh, I missed the centre of that little one. So what was it? A yellow. Let's just do that in here. There we go. And then we're going to put this. I want just this bit in here with that pale bit again. Let's take that. It's going to be the yellow. And some green. Just a bit of green in on here. Like that. That's lovely. Now to me that's real sunshine. You know, it's just a beautiful sunshiny look, and it makes the little bear beautifully and you know, just lovely. So let's get our background and we can put that in on there. That's nice. So you've got all of that in there. Now I do need to do something around the side to make this sort of pop a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, what am I going to do? I'm going to use some Posca, and I'm going to, as you know, I'm quite addicted to my Posca pens at the moment. And I've got these ones which are sparkly, which I thought were rather nice. Now, yellow and green on there, I think hopefully will work quite nicely. We'll have to see, because I just wanted some. In fact, I'm going to do the these little hearts in the sparkly. Oh yes, look at that. That's come out nicely. So that's that on there. And then, well, now of course I'm going to have to be careful to not stick my hand on it. Should have done that when it was on the card, but you know me, not very much patience. Now I want to do the edges, and I've got to work out. Now I've got a steel rule here, and this has got a metal. It's very old. It belonged to my grandfather actually, but I always keep things. So I want to do this. I'm going to wait for that to dry a bit. I'm going to do around this side first. So I'm just going to take this to here and just take that firm edge, and I'm going to do it, I think I'm going to do it in the yellow rather, no, I'm going to have to do green on the outside. So I just need to give it a little bit of an edge, and then run that down like that, and that just gives me a little bit of an edge on there. And I've got to be a bit careful so I don't smudge it. So I want this one in on here. Take it just down to the edge. That's that one. Move it around now. Am I going to get it inside the card or not? No, I don't think I am. I think I can be all right on there. I just can't remember where I put my. Right, let's give it a wipe as we go. And then we're not going to get bits inside on the card. Now this bit I should probably have done first, but I didn't. So you can do this bit first if you want, or you can do it at the end. I tend to do it at the end because I don't know what colours I'm going to use. I always do things sort of last minute, but if we just take this in like this, and it's just going to give a little bit of sparkle on the edge, which I think will be quite pretty. So just take that to there. Okay, so that's that bit. So there's me just getting it all over my hands. So that's that one. So that's the outside bit. And then this is the inside bit, and I'm going to do that in the yellow because I think the yellow will look quite nice. And with a bit of luck, most of it will be dry now, so I'm not going to have to worry about it too much. So let's take that on there. That's that one. I do like these sparkly ones because they just give a real twinkle to the edge. And I've had a few questions about them, but I'm sure you can get these Posca pens from anywhere. I'm not sure. See, I can get them in my local DIY store. Robert Dyer's, Ryman's have now are inside Robert Dyer's, so I have one in my local town, which is it's a hardware store that has this stationery company inside, and as I say, they are Posca, so P-O-S-C-A, Posca. They're by, I don't know, Uni Mitsubishi pencil, water-based, and they are brilliant. They just give, they're great for doing splats, they're great for doing sparkles, they're great for doing all sorts of things. And then that is going to go in on here. So you've got the green and you've got the yellow on there, and you've got that lovely sparkle. And my goodness, doesn't that look really summery? So I'm going to probably put a sentiment on it of some sort. I haven't decided what, but that gives you the idea. And doesn't that make a lovely, pretty summery card? So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.